Welcome to Online Chem 2 for the summer. You guys know this is an extremely fast-paced course. Really, there's only 7 weeks of material because the 8th week is set aside for the final exam. Chem 2 is a more difficult course than Chem 1. If there's been a gap since you took Chem 1, like say you took Chem 1 in the fall and you're just now getting around to Chem 2 for summer, that can be challenging because we really do pick up in Chem 2 where Chem 1 left off. So if there's been a gap, or if you just feel like you didn't do as well in Chem 1 as you wanted, you probably want to take a step back and review before you get started. So here's how you're going to navigate through Online Chem 2. You go to the modules in Canvas. The week 1 module, obviously that's everything you have to complete week 1. If you wait until Sunday to log into the course and start doing the work, then you will probably not be successful with the course. It's almost impossible to complete and learn everything in one day and then add on to that the next week. So I encourage you guys to start on Monday. Set aside, pace yourself. I don't know, an hour, 2 hours each day. That's going to vary depending on the student. And then maybe by the time Sunday rolls around, maybe by Saturday, you're finished. You've already covered your week. But you're going to have to figure out how much time it takes for you. So, what I think you should do, I would navigate through week 1 in order. Just read the welcome. Introduction is like if you will probably see in every online course. Introduce yourselves. Tell us your major, etc., etc. Then I'm going to talk to you a little bit in the module about the online homework system, which is called ALEKS. That is included in the course. Your tuition covers access to ALEKS, which has your ebook and online homework. Tuition does not cover access to the lab, which I'll get to that in a minute. But the book and the online homework is in here because it's an ebook course. And so the ALEKS assignments are typically, you can see this one, the name will say ALEKS in it. You can see a couple of ALEKS assignments in week 1. Let me explain how I do the online homework. The assignments vary based, as far as the number of questions they have. There are quite a few questions in the review, the General Chemistry 1 review ALEKS module. Guys, when you click on that to work it, you do not have to complete that assignment the first time you click on it. You don't have to do the whole thing. You can click on it. You can read every question and then come back later and work on it some more. That's how all the ALEKS assignments are. If you do start working on it today and you work, 1, 2, 10 questions, then when you come back later in the day or later in the week, that work is saved and you'll just pick up from there. Okay, you'll have 3 tries on every question. There are no points deducted if it takes you 3 times to get it right. You still get the full point value for that question. If you complete the whole assignment and submit it, you can actually redo that assignment as long as it's before the due date. Like for this one, June 9th, you can redo the whole assignment before the due date. I will take your highest score. What happens is sometimes students don't score as well as they do as they want to on a homework assignment, and that's going to depend on you what a good grade is. Personally, I think you should make over a 90 on every homework assignment because, you get 3 tries per question. You have access to any helps that you want, your notes, your books, etc. So, there's no reason not to have a high grade on homework assignments. The homework assignments do count for 10% of your final grade. So if you finish the homework on June 6th and you make a grade that you don't like, you just start that one over. And if you score higher, I'll take your higher score. I think that's what I want to say about ALEKS. Okay, so that one's a review. Then in each module, you'll see these that are called read and watch. And you can see in week 1, we're actually covering 3 chapters. the gas laws, intermolecular forces, and physical properties of solutions. So in the read and watch modules, you will find YouTube videos and worksheets that I've posted maybe. Watch the YouTube videos. Best practice is going to be to watch those while you're sitting somewhere where you can take notes. Treat those like you are sitting in a lecture and you're listening and you're learning. When I put problems on the YouTube video, pause the video, work the problem, try to work it, and then start the video and see if you worked it correctly. That's going to be your best practices for learning the material. So after every read and watch, there's an ALEKS homework. Read and watch, ALEKS homework, etc. Okay? Now, for week 1, I put the labs in a separate place because I did not want the module to look overwhelming. So the labs are in a different module for week 1 titled Achieve Virtual Labs. Again, you have to purchase access to the labs. That is not part of the ebook because it's a different publisher. You can click on the first lab and you'll be prompted to purchase it with a debit or credit card. If you want to buy an access code from the EMCC bookstore, you can do that and then you'll enter that access code at the prompt. But you will have to purchase access to the lab. Now, here's a big reason why I put them separately, because it looks like a lot of stuff for week 1. And honestly, Chem 2, it's a good bit of stuff. But I want you guys to realize that it's not that many labs. See, all these title laboratory skills, that's one lab. It's just in different parts. And then the introduction to lab simulation, that's one lab. Avogadro's law is all one lab. Bool's law, one lab, et cetera, et cetera. So let me talk to you about how I've got these organized. I think you should do them in order, okay? Because before you do a lab, you're going to read the background and you're going to work a pre-lab. The pre-lab is multiple choice questions. I do not take a grade on these, but if you can answer them correctly and the thinking that you're going to have to do to answer those questions is going to prepare you for the lab, and it's going to make the lab itself way simpler for you and easier for you. You'll get feedback after you answer each question, etc. Then the experiments, that's where you're actually going to be making measurements and pouring chemicals virtually, etc. The data that comes from the experiments, whether it's a mass or a pressure or a temperature, you can record that however you want. You can record it on the digital notebook in the virtual lab. You can record it on notebook paper. That's whatever you prefer. I prefer notebook paper because I just find it easier to navigate and to see my numbers when I actually have them written on paper. But you guys might be different from that. So you do that however you want. Okay? Now, the experiments, you can work that as many times as you want. And I encourage y'all to do that because when you write down numbers for experiment 2, if you run that experiment again, you should get the same numbers. And so you guys can imagine, I mean, it's easy to misread a number. It's easy to maybe the balance wasn't zeroed out, and you put the beaker on there, but the balance was read negative when you put the beaker on there and you have the wrong beaker mass or what have you. So, it's a good idea to run through it twice and double check your numbers. When you get to the post-lab assignment, y'all, you can only work that one time. That's where your grade is, as you can see, because it has a due date and a number of points. You can only work the post-lab assignment one time. You're going to want to reference all your data to work that post-lab assignment. And the number of questions on those varies. I mean, sometimes it's 15 questions, sometimes it's 5. Okay, so it just depends. But you only get to work that one time. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about the Achieve Labs. Starting with week 2, I have it so y'all can roll ahead into the next week, but realize come like the end of the first week of class, like let's say June 7th, I'm going to be reviewing week 2 and making sure everything in there is set up like I want it. I've tried to get it ready right now for you. But you can roll on into week 2, and I don't recommend a whole lot of working ahead because you can get too much on you. So try to keep it 1 week at a time. And even now, when I'm doing this video, I can see that last assignment there. I've got to fix that date because it's the wrong date for that assignment. So, I mean, if you see something like that as you're navigating through and say, hey, it says this is due, but y'all just send me a Canvas message, because I've been looking at this for hours today and still I'm finding mistakes. So look, if you have a question about a due date, message me. If you have a question about the chemistry, the concept, if something's not making sense, just message me about that. I will be teaching Chem 2 on campus this summer. We are offering that face-to-face in June. So for the month of June, I will be at the Golden Triangle, the Mayhew campus, teaching. I will not have time for office hours because I'm teaching 2 classes this summer, and those are 4-week classes, and so it's pretty much all day, every day. And there's just no time in between for office hours. But you guys feel free to send me a message on Canvas, email me. I don't recommend calling the office because I'm not going to be in there. I'm going to be in class. So hope that helps make it easier as to how to navigate the course, and y'all get started.